She had grown comfortable in the stillness of her days. The soft ticking of the kitchen clock, the steady hum of the fridge, and the rustling leaves outside were the only sounds that kept her company. At 34, living alone and working from home, her life had settled into quiet, predictable rhythms: morning coffee at 8, emails by 9, grocery deliveries twice a week. It was peaceful, it was safe, it was lonely. That day rain pattered gently against the windows, casting everything in a silver-gray light. She had just finished a work call and was letting the silence settle around her again when the doorbell rang. Slightly startled, she checked the time. Right, the groceries. She walked to the door, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. When she opened it, a young man stood there, late 20s maybe, calm expression, damp hair tucked under a cap. He held the grocery bag like it was something fragile. "Hi," he said, offering a soft smile. "Your order." As she reached for the bag, their fingers touched briefly. "Thank you," she said with a small nod. He turned to go, but something inside her stirred. It wasn't desire or excitement. It was just awareness. A flicker of life she hadn't felt in a while. Back inside, she set the groceries on the counter, but her mind lingered at the door. She'd received countless deliveries before, spoken to dozens of strangers. Yet this moment wouldn't leave her. In the days that followed, she found herself thinking about him, not obsessively, just curiously, wondering if he always smiled that way, or if something in that moment had made it genuine. On Friday, another delivery arrived. Same time, same company. She opened the door more quickly this time. "Hey," he greeted, raindrops clinging to his jacket. "Got your things?" She smiled, a little more openly. "You again," he chuckled. "Seems like we're on the same schedule." As she took the bag, their hands touched again, just a little longer this time. "Thank you," she said, her tone warmer. "No problem," he replied, his gaze meeting hers for a moment longer than before. She closed the door and leaned against it. Heart steady but fuller than it had been in a while. Something was shifting, barely noticeable, but undeniably there. That night, sipping tea by the window, she wasn't listening for the fridge or the clock anymore. She was listening for something new. A knock, a voice, a possibility. The next time he came, it was evening. The sky was painted in soft shades of gold and blue. When she opened the door, his smile was already waiting. He handed over the bag but didn't leave right away. His eyes lingered on her face with quiet curiosity, not discomforting, just real. "Would you like some water before heading out?" she asked, surprising herself. He blinked, then nodded. "Yeah, that would be nice." She returned with a glass, and he stood in the doorway, sipping slowly. He wasn't in a rush. He looked around thoughtfully, as if he wanted to understand more than just the layout of the home. "You live alone?" he asked gently. She nodded. "Yeah, been that way for a while. Must get quiet," he said. Sometimes it's peaceful." They stood in silence for a few seconds, and it was comfortable. After he left, she remembered how his fingers traced the rim of the glass before handing it back. It wasn't flirtation. It was tenderness. After that, his deliveries became something more. He brought stories with him, little slices of his life. A kind gesture for an elderly man. A laugh in the rain. She listened because it reminded her that there was still beauty outside her walls. One day, she found a small note tucked between apples and bread. "Hope your day's been good. You looked a little tired last time. Take care." No one had checked on her like that in years. She folded the note, placed it in a drawer, and stood still for a long while. Letting the kindness sink in, she began to look forward to the doorbell, not out of boredom, but out of hope. That Saturday, she woke early and baked banana bread. Something she hadn't done in years. The smell filled the house like an old memory. That afternoon, a knock. She hadn't ordered anything. He stood there with a small package. "This got mixed up yesterday," he said. "Thought I'd drop it off since I was nearby." She raised an eyebrow. "Really? Or were you looking for an excuse?" He grinned, sheepish. "Maybe both." She stepped aside. "Come in. I have something for you." He hesitated, then entered. She handed him a warm slice of banana bread. "You made this?" he asked, after the first bite. "It's amazing." She nodded. "First time in a long time." They sat at the small kitchen table, the one that had been empty for too long. Conversation flowed easily now. He told her about his childhood, his dreams, his fears. She opened up too, more than she expected, about past hurt, about how she stopped writing, stopped creating. "You don't seem like someone meant to live." In silence, he said quietly. There's too much life in your eyes. That stayed with her after he left. She carefully wrapped the second slice of bread and placed it in the fridge for tomorrow. Maybe, but 3 days passed with no sign of him. She told herself not to read into it. People get busy, but by the 4th day, she found herself watching the window more often, hoping. On the 5th day, she gave in, ordered something small just for the chance to see him. When the doorbell rang, her heart moved before her feet. He stood there, looking both happy and unsure. I was hoping it would be you, she said softly. I wanted to come sooner, he admitted, but I didn't know if I should. You should've, she said, voice gentle but sure. He handed her the package, and neither moved. A silence filled with something unspoken. I've been thinking about you, he said. Probably, more than I should. Same, she whispered. And I don't think that's wrong. He laughed, the sound already familiar to her. You feel like home. She felt it too. Not built on time, but truth. On honesty, on presence. She opened the door wider. Would you like to stay for tea? He looked at her, truly looked. Only if you promise to sit with me this time. Not just serve. I will, she said, smiling. They sat and talked not about schedules or routines, but about dreams and fears, about needing someone and being needed. There were no grand declarations, no fireworks. Just two people realizing they'd found something that mattered. As he reached for her hand, she didn't pull away. Before he left, he paused. I don't want this to be a passing moment. It won't be, she said. Not if we choose it. He nodded. Then I'll see you soon. Not for a delivery. Just for you. She closed the door gently behind him, her heart full in a way that felt right. Not overwhelming, just real. Love hadn't arrived with fanfare. It had come quietly, with a grocery bag and a kind smile. And in that softness, she found the beginning of something new.